for as long as I've been drop shipping, like every now and then I'll kind of just have this like almost like a mind shift or just a mental breakthrough where things kind of start clicking and I just have like this new thought process almost. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just something that like happens over time. Normally it's in between times that I have a winter and times that I'm testing. So like right now I'm kind of back in the testing phase. So I've had some time to kind of like recount or recap on my previous few months of experience with drop shipping just to kind of go back and kind of understand how my mindset and how my like how I've shifted, I guess, from one person to the next. Like not that I'm a new person, but just how I've kind of evolved as an entrepreneur and just kind of the new things that I believe to be true now in a sense. Like your mindset will always be changing when you're in ecom. You'll always be learning and after like just a few months of new experiences, you'll look back and say, wow, I'm almost a new person now. So right now is kind of one of those times. And by the way, I'm gonna get a haircut soon. I know you guys are probably gonna roast me for not being absolutely just dripped out for the YouTube video, but I'm gonna get one right before Christmas so that I'm looking nice and fresh and clean for all the Christmas festivities. But for now, you guys are just gonna have to deal with me looking a bit shaggy. But anyways, so basically what I wanted to talk about today is product research, and that's kind of what I'm this is kind of what I mean by I've taken some time to just let everything soak in, let everything come to me and just kind of understand exactly what's going to be necessary to find a $1 million product. Because, like you guys know, in the last video, I was kind of talking about like killing a product because it was performing well, but the quality was looking really bad. And now, the last few days, I've been testing some products, and they're just kind of not performing as well on the marketing end of things. I mean, the quality might be good, but I'm just not getting the right traffic, I guess, or the right response from customers that are seeing the ads. So it's kind of made me stop and think for a minute and say, okay, what's really going to be necessary if I want to find a product that's going to go to 1 million? I've had products go to 50K. I've had products go to 100K. I've had products go to 300K, even past 500K. But I just haven't ever hit that $1 million mark yet. And I mean, accumulatively, I've done over $1 million in sales. But really, my goal is to find one product, run one store that can hit that $1 million, and that's really going to be my goal for 2025. So I had to really sit back and think like what does that product look like? After everything I've learned from every product that I've ran, what does that actually look like, and how does that actually play out? Because I had to be real with myself and say, okay, you've had some 50K, 100K, few 100K, 500K products, but what does it actually look like to get to 1 million? Because what you've done in the past, unfortunately, as much as I want to give myself credit for hitting some of those numbers, it's not going to work to get to 1 million. So I had to come back. I had to revise my product research strategy a bit because I really think it actually lies somewhere in the preparation of products for me. I think that like a lot of people would say, oh, I messed up at, I hit 300K and then it came crashing down because of this. But really, like, what people don't realize is sometimes those problems um, happen because of a certain piece that was missing in the very beginning. There's a saying that goes something like you win in the draft, and probably more of a sports saying, but like I think that that saying has some truth to e-commerce too. Like sometimes you just win in the draft. You pick the right product, you pick the right market, you do the right things in the very beginning, And all of that preparation is really what can be the difference maker when it comes to hitting that $1 million store. So, anyways, enough of that yapping. I'm gonna get into what I've been devising today. I kind of wrote out this document, partly for myself, but also to share with you guys. I mean, for me, I like to write things down, like just kind of work through them with myself, write things down, and kind of um, makes it easier for me to retain it, to kind of understand things and put things into perspective. So I took some time to write out this document. Just want to go over it with you guys, kind of talk through it, and give you guys an idea of what I'm really going to be looking for when it comes to finding a $1 million product. And it's probably a bit different than you've seen people, talk about products in this sense before. So hopefully, it makes a bit of sense. Hopefully, you can get some inspiration from it. If you are like more so a beginner and maybe haven't started running too many products yet, you may be slightly confused, I guess, but just try and, take some inspiration from it, get some value, and we'll just work through this together. So, so yes, $1 million product research checklist. So what is necessary? We're not gonna say what's necessary for the overall $1 million yet. Like, what is necessary for a product to start selling? Like, what is necessary to make sales and potentially start scaling? Meaning like increasing your ad budget, showing your ad to more people, showing your product to more people. Like, what is necessary just to get things off the ground a bit, just to light that fire, catch that flame. And generally, like what I've found is that for a product to start selling, you just need some element of product market fit and ideally a strong marketing angle to sell your customers on. So, in other words, you have a product, right? And you just connect it to, and I don't want to say desperate. I put desperate, but I don't mean desperate in like a bad way, just as like an in need way. So you have a product and you connect it to a market with a strong marketing angle. So you take a product, you take a market, and you connect the two. That's like essentially what it looks like. Or maybe not like that, but you put something in the middle of it and it kind of connects the two. You put some glue in the middle, being your marketing angle. So, for example, you have things like the pheromone perfume, and basically, you take this this product that is claiming to give people like some advantage in getting a partner, getting a girlfriend or boyfriend. It supposedly has pheromones in it, which the science behind it attracts people to you. So you have a product that attracts people, and then you have a market that is like very desperate to get someone attracted to them. And so you take like that product in that market, you make an ad, and you just kind of slip it in the middle of it, and there you go. You show people reacting to them having it on and having their girlfriend or boyfriend around them and see how they react to it. And that's kind of the idea there. You connect that product to the market with that strong marketing angle of those bold claims showing like, hey, yeah, this really works. People are reacting to this in this way. And essentially, just like if you use it, you're going to have the same exact experience. Now, obviously, we know that that product probably doesn't, or I know that it doesn't do exactly what it promises to do. Maybe it smells decent, but you're never going to have a product that really like does that for you. Um, but again, it's just the market, and you just have that angle that is making that big promise. And then other common problems, you have acne, dark spots, hair loss, aging skin, stuff like that. Other insecurities that people want to fix. Um, and really, from my experience, what I've come to understand, at least about the selling aspect of products, is that the strong angles and the strong marketing, and really the ones that are like really pushing the limits or like pushing the edge and nearly getting rejected, like what you may come to find out is that like if you have some ads that are getting rejected, it's probably because they're selling well. And well, not because they're selling well, but because they have these claims that are just very almost far-fetched, but those are the ads or the angles that really get people to take action. And like I say, it's mainly because, at least with paid marketing, you're marketing to a cold audience. So you're not marketing to people that have any idea who you are. You're marketing to random people, random strangers. And so you have to be marketing in a way that's going to get them to take action quickly, to see something, be hooked in, and want to take action without really knowing too many details. I mean, they see your ad and they see like what you're claiming, but other than that, like, they have your store, they have your offer, and that's about all the information that they get to make their decision. They don't have your whole history, they don't know who you are. So, yeah, you just kind of have to use your ad in that way. Um, and again, meaning most of the time you have to make a big promise to people who are almost, desperate in a way, or in need. It's normally going to be in regard to an insecurity, possibly even a certain condition that people have. For example, like I told you guys a couple times, I sold a product for women that have PCOS. PCOS is a condition, it's a market of people who have problems, who are, very either insecure about them or they're just kind of desperate to fix it. It's just something that really puts them in pain in their daily lifestyle, and they are desperate to fix that. They would do things, they would pay money to fix that because the fix for that problem is more valuable for their money. And so I hope that kind of makes sense when it comes to like what's kind of necessary just in the very beginning, just to get something to catch fire. You need to have that market that's in need, and then you need to have that strong marketing angle to kind of um, make that claim that your product is going to fix whatever insecurity or whatever condition or problem that they may have. And so I made a little front end checklist. And by front end, I basically mean like marketing and selling. So, in terms of marketing and selling, here's what I think, these are the things you want to have. This is nothing about like product quality, nothing about that yet. This is just simply about selling your front end. And so, based on the information that I was just talking about, these are the things you want to make sure you have. Excuse me. So, one is going to be a product that solves a problem or fixes an insecurity or a condition, right? So you need a product that has some function to do something that is going to be useful. Whether that's, an acne serum, whether that's a dark spot bar of soap, whether that's, a hair growth oil, something like that. You need that product that is going to do something for someone. And then you're going to want a market or a group of people who are in pain or have a problem that needs to be solved, right? And then to connect the two, so you have your product, you have your market that needs that product, and then you have a strong marketing angle and strong advertising slash content that's going to make a big promise, meaning basically showing them the results that they're going to achieve by using the product. And that promise and that advertising and that angle is going to connect your product to that market. Um, and yeah, so that's why you don't only do product research, you also need to do market research because you kind of have to understand the full circle there. You kind of have to understand like, okay, I have this product, but like who am I going to sell this to? And then you have to kind of like understand, okay, my product does this, my market needs this, and so how can I make my ad to effectively like tell the market that I have a product that's going to fix the problem for them. And normally that's going to be, testimonials, results, before and afters, stuff like that. Um, that's really going to confirm that your product is going to do what you're saying it's going to do. And again, that's just what you need in order for your product to start selling. Maybe scale it up a little bit, take it to a certain point. Like I said, 50, 100K, maybe past that, who knows. But I believe that the reason most people fail to start $1 million stores with drop shipping, myself included, is because they only focus on the front end checklist. And this isn't even something that's like, um, that they're like consciously neglecting most of the time. It's just that they don't know any better. And I'm in that same boat. For a while, I just like was not understanding that there's a difference between your front end, like being able to sell, and your back end, being able to sustain your business and operate and fulfill an experience, right? And so basically what I mean by that is in order to be sustainable, to operate, to sell something profitably and sustainably over time, um, you need to do a few things, on top of just being able to sell something. Because it's great if you can sell something, but you need to operate, you need to be profitable, and you need to sustain that business over time, right? So, and again, this is the part that I feel like is kind of in the shadows. It's not something that's typically talked about in ecom, or at least not something that I've seen typically talked about. I see this kind of brushed under the rug more times than I see it, openly talked about, and I don't know what exactly the reason for that is. Maybe it's, not the flashiest thing to talk about. You start talking about potential problems that people could have on the back end, and all of a sudden people are like, ooh, I don't want to, I don't want anything to do with that. So I don't know, but um, like what's actually necessary for a product to sell profitably and sustainably over time? Well, generally, in order to continue selling something, you need a few things, right? So the first thing you need is to be selling to an evergreen market. So you sell something that can sell year round, something that's never going to go away. And generally speaking, like if you're picking products that have anything to do with like these types of angles being, acne, dark spots, hair loss, aging skin, just those insecurities and those conditions, like generally speaking, you're not going to have to worry too much about like a trend that's dying out. Um, Sometimes, of course, like if you're selling clothing, if you're selling like seasonal products, then of course, you're probably not going to sell that for too long before that trend dies out or something very new. Um, some odd new trend, whatever it may be, that comes out and starts selling. But for the most part, you want to be selling to um, people's insecurities, things that are more like, evergreen, problems that are evergreen, insecurities that are evergreen, stuff like that. The next thing you need to do is to be consistently profitable. Now, this not only has so I wrote solid margins, offers, and AOV. So a couple things here. You have to um, like obviously you want to have solid margins, right? So you want to be selling something that has a high perceived value. For example, like maybe you buy it for like $7 $8 and you can sell it for like $30 $40. That would say that's like a good margin, right? um, and really you build some of that perceived value again with your front end marketing here. Like if you're promising that you're going to be solving a big enough problem from them, then that's kind of where some of that perceived value comes from, where some of that pricing can come from as well. So it definitely helps to have like one of those angles when it comes to pricing as well. And then an offer, meaning like, maybe you add a free gift, maybe you do a buy one, get one free, maybe you just have like a really good brand and, you're kind of offering like a very high quality service, very high quality product, things like that. And then lastly, a bit of like your AOV. So whether that's, through your bundles, through your upsells, things like that, just to be consistently profitable, because there's going to be days, there's going to be weeks that are that things aren't going as well, but you still need to have that consistent, back end structure when it comes to your product economics, if we'll call them that, that just kind of work in your favor. Make it easy to be profitable. Like if you can have extremely low cogs and have all these other things working for you, even on bad days, even on like very competitive days or just very dead days. You'll still be able to be profitable just because you did this prior research. You found a product that does all these things, but also has a really good cost of goods, that you can sell for a higher price. And then the last thing is that you're fulfilling the claims or promises stated in the creative. So this is kind of, like I said, this is why it's a bit easier said than done, because these things all kind of have to balance out. And again, the reason I was making this video is just because of kind of my own mistakes over the last few days. or yeah, I guess like the last few days, last week or so. Um, not really checking everything off this list like I should be. So not only do you have to be consistently profitable with solid margins, like having a low cost of goods, but you have to be like fulfilling the claims and promises that have to be kind of exaggerated in a way or kind of like bold in a way, telling people exactly how you're going to be solving their problems. So to get all that to balance out, to make those really strong claims, to have a product that has good enough product economics or cost of goods, to be able to be consistently profitable, and then to be able to actually fulfill the claims and promises, the bold claims and promises that you're stating in the creatives, you can see that it seems a little bit easier said than done, right? So yeah, to be able to consistently execute on being profitable with paid ads, fulfill a great customer experience to keep customers coming back, telling their friends, or at the very least, just to make sure they're happy with the experience they received. It's not a walk in the park. This is like, it's one of the harder things of ecom. You have obviously like the front end is hard too. It comes with its challenges. To be able to get something to sell in the first place is hard, but to be able to be sustainable and operate successfully with it is also hard. And it's like, it's just two hard things. Like there's no getting around it. A lot of people, again, like I say, they just focus on the front end, they focus on selling, and then when things on the back end start going downhill, things kind of just come crashing down. And like I say, I'm no stranger to this as well. I've had this happen to me plenty of times, and I'm not proud of it by any means, but it's just for me. I've tried to have it serve as a learning experience, just so I can learn from it and make sure that I take steps towards being able to find that product or create that sphere, I guess, of all these things together, all these checklists working together and balancing out. And so, really, what I've realized that is that product research and like all of this research, it's not just product research; it's all aspects of the business. It can take a lot of preparation and due diligence that isn't normally taught in the ecom community. Now, again, I don't know if that's because people just don't know or haven't thought about it, or they just don't think it's flashy enough to talk about. But this is really why taking a product to 1 million plus and actually branding it out and turning it into a sustainable business is not as easy as it's made out to be. And I wrote sometimes, but pretty much all the time. There's got to be a balance between all of these aspects of the business. You have to have the product that has the right function, the market that is desperate and in need of a product, the angle and the marketing that's going to connect those two together successfully and get people to really feel that impulse and feel that emotion that's going to make them want to, take action quickly. And then, on the back end, you have to have these cost of goods and product economics all in a row. Like you have to have a good enough margin to be able to scale with. You have to be able to fulfill that customer experience with a product that actually works and does what it's supposed to do for the customer. And not even just like is satisfactory, but like actually exceeds the expectations that the customer has, because that's really how you turn that customer experience aspect into a tailwind for the business, something that's really going to push it forward. And on a long enough time span, it really does feel like the product quality and the customer experience is kind of the deal breaker when it comes to building that brand. You can't sell a shitty product for too long before everything kind of comes crashing down, whether it's your ads getting banned, or not ads, but whether it's your like ad account going down because customers are reporting you, whether it's chargebacks and refunds, whether it's just um, things falling through on the back end like that. Everything is important and plays a part in the success of your business, which is why you have to be conscious about all these things. If your goal is to build a brand or push a store past that $1 million point. And like I said, these are just things that I have struggled with as well. Drop shipping, like I told you guys, I've had stores that have gone to 50, 100, 300, 500K. but I haven't been able to push it past that $1 million spot, and it normally has something to do with this part right here, fulfilling the claims promised in the creatives, right? So you can only go on for so long before things kind of fall through, and could I also add right here number four being a reliable supplier slash supply chain. I think I could have that there too as well. Like you want to make sure you have a reliable supplier. In the past, there's been times where I probably could have done better due diligence on who I was working with in terms of supplier. And maybe I work with a new supplier on the next winning product and see about that. But yeah, I mean, you have to have somebody you can rely on the back end too. You don't necessarily have full control over that. Somebody else has to kind of make some things happen for you if you want to change the package around, if you want to fix product quality, things like that. And to be able to do that, and especially to be able to do them quickly, you definitely need somebody that you can really rely on. So that does play into it as well. Um, so yeah, so overall, generally, like the reason I'm saying this is because it's going to take more effort than just scrolling through PPAs or scrolling through some product research method and finding the first thing that's trending, the first thing with impressions, the first thing that's last 7 days has been on the uprise to try and test and sell. Right? It really is kind of a balancing act. You need to do research on products and their use cases, like their functions. You need to be doing research on markets and customers and kind of understanding what they need and understanding their problems and just things that they go through on a daily basis. And then you need to be doing research on content and marketing angles, making sure there's enough content out there, making sure that you can find marketing angles that are making those bold claims and things that will really get people to take action. Then you need to do research on the cost of goods, the margins, the product economics, and make sure that you can kind of craft an offer that gives enough value to the customer, but also leaves you with a good enough margin to be able to scale. And then lastly, you need to do research on product quality and again, research on the supply chain, or maybe not research, but just kind of, get all your ducks in a row there and just make sure that the product is going to actually fulfill the promises that you're making in the advertisement. Because again, like I said, if you want to get something to sell, if you want to get something to catch fire, you're probably going to have to be saying something bold. You're probably going to be having to make a big claim, a big promise that almost seems a little bit too good to be true. And right here, I say, I'm going to butcher this quote. Couldn't find the exact one, but it's something I think I saw like Alex Hormozy tweet out one time. But he said, the secret to direct response marketing is making claims that seem too good to be true. And again, there is a lot of truth to that. If you want to get someone to act impulsively or act now, then you need to be making claims that seem almost too good to be true, right? You need to be making claims, making promises that are really going to speak to them emotionally. But the secret to really building out a successful business is making those claims that seem too good to be true, but those claims actually turn out to be true, right? So you make those crazy claims like you're gonna lose weight in in instantly or lose weight in like 2 days or something like that. That's a bold claim, one that would probably maybe get you banned on on Meta, but if it didn't get you banned, then and you were starting to sell with it, then it's only a matter of time if you're not actually helping people lose weight in 2 days till things start crashing down. So but on the other hand, if you make that bold claim and it turns out to be true, things are gonna start going pretty crazy for you. And yeah, so that's um that's kind of my new understanding of product research, I guess if you'll call it that. There's a lot of things here, and like, yes, you might not be able to get everything perfectly prepared in the beginning. I do understand, there is opportunity as you're scaling, if you do it correctly, to be fixing product quality or to be making better ads or to be, fixing certain things as you scale and as you grow the business. But at the same time, you don't want to have things like you don't want to openly neglect some things, right? So you kind of just want to make sure that the product quality is good, that you have good margins, that you have everything, all your ducks in a row right here. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but doing your due diligence on all of these things is what I found will most likely give you the best chance to build something of real value, build something that can push past that $1 million plus mark. And so this is kind of just my uh, my new understanding. Just wanted to share this with you guys. Hopefully, you get some value out of it. Maybe at least it opens your mind up a bit more to what's necessary to not only selling but also scaling and sustaining and operating when it comes to ecom. And again, like I say, it's not going to be the easiest thing to do, and I understand that, and I think a lot of other guys that are have been in the game for a while understand that it's not just scrolling through PP ads and finding the first thing that's trending. And so I tried to break it down as I understand it here, and maybe it helps some of you guys out. I hope it does, but yeah, this is just kind of my update. Like I said, the products that I've been running, um, they didn't perform too well over the last couple days, and I think it's because I put more emphasis right here on this product quality than I did on the market and the content and marketing angles. So it's like, I just have to find a good balance between those. The previous product, I put a lot more emphasis on the content and the marketing angles than I did the product quality. So for the following products, I'm going to try and do my best to, not only do research on the product and the market and the marketing angles and the content, but also make sure that the product quality is there, that the cost of goods is there, and that everything checks out. And like while that's definitely a more extensive way to do product research, I really believe that that's going to give me the best chance to actually push something to that $1 million product research checklist. And like I said, sometimes you win in the draft, and I think a lot of times, unless you're like trying to get super lucky, you have to do some of this extra preparation in the beginning, and really plan out, and find something that's got that potential to hit that $1 million. And it's more than just scrolling on PP ads and finding the first thing that's trending. You probably are not going to go to $1 million just doing it that way. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I hope this kind of helps some of you guys out. Maybe opens your mind a bit, helps you understand product research in a bit of a different fashion, kind of see things the way that I am seeing them at this point in my journey. And yeah, I mean, if it helps you guys out, I'm happy. Always happy to hear you guys' feedback as well. So that's all I've got for today. Again, hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to like the video, comment, or subscribe for future content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.